I'm Jan, and welcome back to the Untangled Journal. Today we are looking at prophecy number 19 in our 365 Prophecies of Jesus series, where Jesus is being betrayed for 30 pieces of silver. In our Old Testament prophecy, Zechariah 11, 12, and 13, Zechariah speaks of being paid 30 pieces of silver, and the Lord tells him to throw it to the potter, the price they valued at him. And this prophecy is so sad because it shows that Jesus would be valued at just 30 pieces of silver, the price connected with betrayal and rejection. And this is taking place about 520 years before Christ was born. And then I think about Judas, and I feel such sadness for him because we read about his remorse in Matthew 27, 3-5, which says, "Now when Judas the betrayer saw that Jesus had been sentenced to death, remorse filled his heart. He returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and religious leaders, saying, 'I have sinned by betraying an innocent man.' They replied, 'Why are you bothering us? That's your problem.' Then Judas flung the silver coins inside the temple and went out and hanged himself. He was completely overcome by regret and guilt, and he knew he had done wrong, and it crushed him. And it's heartbreaking because if Judas had waited just 3 more days, he would have seen Jesus alive again. He would have seen that Jesus, or he would have understood at least, that Jesus already knew about the betrayal long before it happened, and yet still loved Judas, still chose him, still kept him close as one of his inner circle. And that's what moves me most, is that Jesus did not only carry the punishment of the people who looked faithful, he also carried the guilt and the shame and the brokenness of the ones who failed badly. And if we're honest, Judas was not the only one who left Jesus. Everyone scattered. Everyone failed him in some way. But Jesus still went to the cross in love. And that is beautiful because I think we can all relate. At some point in our life, we've all done something that maybe we deeply regret. We could go back and change. And yet we live with that hope that Jesus has paid that punishment, that we are 100% clean. We've been cleared of all our debt. And so for today's drawing, to remember this prophecy, I'm going to do the number 30 in block letters. So you're going to need, you'll need your journal or some paper, whatever you're practicing in. You'll need a pencil, your eraser, your blending tool, and then I'm going to use 2 fine liners, a number 2 micron pen and a number 3 micron pen. So the 2 is just a slightly finer point. And we're going to spend some time just tangling inside the 30. Inside the 0, we're going to do silver coins. We'll try and get 30 silver coins in there. And then in the 3, we will do some other patterns, and you can also have your own creative expression and freedom to do whatever you would like to do. So we're going to begin by just doing a 3, and feel free to just play around with that. You can do your 3 however you want. Maybe you want to do a straight top and an angled, to come down angled and then go around. However you like to do your numbers is fine. And then we'll do a 0 and a smaller 0 on the inside. Okay, then to get this into 30 silver coins, let's wing it. I'm not too sure. I'm just going to do a circle, and then I'm going to try and aura around it, and then put a S inside. So that's going to be symbolic that it was a silver coin. And we'll just go all the way around and see how many we can get in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, 25. Maybe your maths is better than mine and you can get a few more in there. I'm going to add my auras around, fill up that space. I'm going to go to pen. Don't think I need to do all of that in pencil. So let's go add our outline. And then for the 3, I thought we could just do some lines and then ink in every second line for some drama. But you can enjoy the process, do whatever you want. Maybe you want to fill it with some flowers or maybe dots. Maybe some more circles or zigzags, or maybe even inside each one we could do dots on the one, and then I'm going to use a slightly thicker fine liner to ink in. And then maybe this one I'll do some lines going this way. And then I'll put some more dots. And then I'm going to ink in. So I'm just going to repeat that pattern all the way around. Okay. Ink in the 0. Maybe I'll make them a bit smaller and see if I can fit in more. Gosh, my tummy's rumbling. I hope you can't hear it. I'm going to go and erase all my pencil. All right. Let's go and add in that outer. You could put this outer line either on the outside or the inside of the coin. Doesn't matter. Okay, and then I just want to show you in between we will go and ink in all the white gaps. Like so. All right, so let's go, and if you're comfortable, you can carry on there and finish it off and see how it looks before putting it onto the PDF. But I'm going to stop there and I'm going to go and add it to the PDF now. Again, if you'd like a copy of this PDF, please just send me a comment and I will be glad to send that off to you. All right, so here's my 3. And my 0. I don't have the most sturdy hand, but it's okay. All right, let's go ink it in. my lines in. So pencil just helps as that guide. You can also go and correct it as you go over in your fine liner. All right, I'm going to go put in my 30 silver coins. I wonder if I divide this up into 3. 1, 2, 3. Trying to get it fairly even. Although I think this one looks a little bit like the space is bigger. All right, let me see if I can go put 10 inside each third. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there we go. Got 30 in there. They're not all the same size, but that's okay. I don't think coins are all the same size depending on their value. I'm going to write the S inside each one and then decide on putting that double layer around the coin. I think I'm going to have to go on the outside. All right. I've got my size 2 micron. All right, I'm just going to go around and do this for all of them. And then I'll ink in all the gaps. Probably won't be too many gaps. As you're doing this, it's such a repetitive task that you can really allow yourself to just focus on your breathing, your thoughts. And then I'm going to ink in between, like where all the white spaces are. Start with the outside so that I don't miss any of the spaces. And then I'll go to the middle. And then the inside. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to go and put my patterns in. So I'm going to start with dots. So I'll do one every third one. I'm going to do dots. All right, then I'm going to skip one, and then I'm going to do lines. I'm just skipping that one because I want to change pens. Okay, and then I'll go and get my thickest fine liner, which is the number 5, and I'll just go ink in this part. If you're following along and you are doing something else with your patterns, please take a picture and post it into the comments. I'd love to see how yours turns out. It's amazing how a simple drawing can really help you remember the prophecies. I think if I had to just do the prophecy without the drawing, I wouldn't remember them all. And last one. There we go. All right, I'm going to go in and erase the pencil. And then I'm going to do some shading. So I'm going to go and add pencil around the outside of both numbers, digits. And then the 0. Okay, let's go blend it all in. When you get to the very dark parts, just go over it lightly so that you don't rub off the ink. And there we have it. And that's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.